Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, on 23rd, President William Ruto took advantage of the church podium to declare curses against Rigathi Gachagua and his allies, who have been at the forefront of criticizing his behavior of giving huge financial donations to churches and other religious institutions. The video is here.
So, katika harakati hiyo ya kujenga taifa, tutapia jenga makanisa na neno la Mungu litasonga mbele. Naona mnapata wasiwasi kama tujenge tusijenge. Let me tell you, tutamuhaibisha Shetani. Shetani hawezi kutuzuia kujenga nchi yetu ama kujenga makanisa zetu. And we know, unajua ukisoma Daniel 11 mstari wa 32 inasema, lakini wale wanaomjua Mungu wao watakuwa jasiri na watafanya mambo makuu. Yes, because we know our God. Inauliza nyinyi watu wa Jericho, mnamjua Mungu kweli? Because we know our God, we are going to be strong and we will do great exploits. We are going to build the church of God. We are going to work for this nation. And I want to tell you, Kenya is going to go places because we know Mungu ambaye tunamwamini.
Now in this video, I want us to look at whom the president was addressing and why the president was speaking the way he was speaking. And without any further ado, let's get after it. Now, the first thing to note is that President William Ruto is fond of going to churches and swaying the emotions of the congregant. And the president has become so good at it. The president knows that in Kenya, if you want to tap into the emotions of the people, you talk about two things: their religion and their health. And the president has mastered the art of talking about religion because he knows that people will get so emotional when he talks about building the church. And because apparently we have religious leaders who are greedy and rotten to the core. The president knows that by speaking about kujenga kanisa, he knows that he speaks directly to the hearts of people who have been, brainwashed, indoctrinated. So it has very little to do with things like Shetani Ashindwe, Shetani lazima aibishwe and all that. It has to do with how the people will receive this information. It is through the church and, worship and all these religious activities that President William Ruto gained great sympathy among the youth and religious organizations. It is through this that he found his way into the presidency, by brainwashing people into thinking that he is holier than thou. The president was directly addressing Rigathi Gachagua. So apparently he found a platform whereby he can vent out his frustrations, his frustrations about how Rigathi Gachagua has been marshalling the mountain region and rallying the mountain against the president. So he found the church, and when the president says Shetani Ashindwe, believe you me, all that the president was trying to talk about was that Rigathi and his goons and his allies and his powers all wote washindwe. It's like a random person who goes to a funeral and he finds people crying. And because his cow had been stolen, so he finds a place whereby he can vent without people asking him questions. So Ruto is like that person whose cow was stolen, but apparently walks to a funeral where people cry, and he cries with the people, not because he's mourning the person who has died, but because he is crying and lamenting of the loss he had when his cow was stolen. The president knows that wherever he goes, all he hears from the people is wongo, 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 and stories like Ruto must go, Kasongo, El Chapo, and other stories that completely interferes with the emotional well-being of the president. So it is the church where he finds a soft spot, where he can sway the emotions of the people. Because if that is not true, tell me why the president promises to build the church, to construct churches across the country, and yet we need more schools. Actually, we don't need more schools. The schools that are already in existence needs to be fully equipped and fully be made functional, equipped with learning materials, books, libraries, laboratory materials, and all that. We need our hospitals to be functional. We need SHA to work. The hospitals need to be equipped in such a manner that if somebody gets chronically ill, he doesn't have to fly to India to get treatment. Those are the changes that we need in our system. We need changes in healthcare. Changes are needed in our education system. I think the president needs to go and benchmark with the MP for Kiaru constituency, Ndindi Nyoro, because apparently what Ndindi Nyoro has done is clearly visible across the nation. Something must be clearly wrong when the president and commander-in-chief of the defense forces, instead of talking about development that deals with infrastructure, education, and healthcare, he talks about construction and development of churches. People don't eat churches. So all this is about politics. It has nothing to do with Shetani. It has nothing to do with kujenga kanisa. It has everything to do with dealing with Rigathi Gachagua, who apparently after his impeachment has been living his best life, and he has become more powerful to the extent that he has threatened the likes of William Ruto alongside his handshake brother Raila Odinga. Now, you let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more informative content such as this. If you're watching for the first time, please go ahead and check out my YouTube channel, and I guarantee you will be treated to a ton of recent content of this nature on politics, policy, and governance issues in our country. Right, guys, this is all that I had for you in this video. Let us meet up in the video that's coming right after this.